good to see you. It's like, I haven't seen him in a long. I haven't seen a lot of you guys I don't know, but him I know, right? And him too. I regret to admit it, but there's always going to be value to content, whether it be music, video, NFTs, whatever it is. There will be value there. But I think a wrestling-related library. Yeah, definitely. Except for Jimmy's music, it just blows. I don't know about Jimmy's. I'm sorry, Jimmy. I'm just kidding. Hey, baby, I love you. I love you. Thanks for giving me a shout at WCW Saturday Night, baby. I love you.
So I have a question. So right now in the era that we live right now with wrestling, there's a lot of talk about sports entertainment and pro wrestling. So how would you be able to define that? What's the balance that you think that wrestling should have right now?
I'll tell you what my balance is. If I'm doing an interview for WWE on any one of their networks or something that's associated with them, it's sports entertainment, out of respect. But in my normal course of conversation, it's professional wrestling, because that's what I grew up with. I've never felt the need to try to change the name of it for any reason. So personal conversations on 83 Weeks, my podcast, it's always professional wrestling, unless I'm talking about WWE, and then out of respect, it's sports entertainment.
In the last couple of years, you've kind of done TV or media for both, for WWE and AEW. Do you have a favorite appearance over the last couple of years?
Nah. It's always fun. Don't get me wrong. I'm always grateful for the opportunity to get out in front of a red light. Even this one, although this one feels more like a firing squad than television. But there is a red light. I see one over there. But look, when I show up, it's a cameo. I'm not involved in the storyline. It's really just a little bit of garnish on the plate, which I'm very grateful for. But it's hard to compare that to, being the minister in the Chuck and Billy wedding. I mean, that was kind of fun, right? How do you compare with that?
So do you see yourself doing anything anytime soon with either WWE or AEW where you will be full-time?
No. No. Number one, look, I'm a realist. As much as I enjoy performing and getting out there in front of the camera, and I'm always grateful to put my toe in the water and make an appearance, that ship has sailed, brother. That's in my rearview mirror. And I'm grateful for it. And I'm happy to get up every morning and look at my rearview mirror and think about the things that I've been able to do. But I'm fortunate to not feel so connected to it that I have to have that back in my life. I'm really happy doing what I'm doing.
How about backstage writing backstage, storylines?
No, actually, that sounds fun, and it is fun, because the creative process is a blast when it's a healthy one. But that's two full-time jobs, because you're not only working while you're working, but you're thinking while you're not working, and you're imagining, and it's hard to turn that switch off if you're really good at it and you're really passionate about it. So it's not like you go to work at 9 o'clock in the morning and come home at 6 o'clock at night, forget about it. I've done my best work at 3 o'clock in the morning in my sleep, and I wake up with an idea. And as cool as that sounds, it's fatiguing as hell. So I'm good right where I'm at, brother.
Eric, I wanted to ask you one last question about, the gentleman there talked about, you being AEW and WWE. It felt like initially there was a more rosy relationship with you and Tony Khan and AEW with the appearances, and you've been a little bit more critical potentially recently. What would you attribute that to? Is it more kind of, giving them a fair shake at the start and kind of being more critical of them now? Where did it kind of change for you?
It didn't change at all for me. What changed in the discourse between Tony Khan and I was that Tony felt whatever he felt it necessary to come out and say that, Dynamite is where WCW was in 1996. Well, come on. Is there anybody here that buys that? WCW was beating the WWE at that time. WCW was an extremely profitable company at that time. WCW was promoting massive pay-per-views at that time. Many of them, not just 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 a year. You can't compare WCW to AEW, but he felt like, he's got to try to get himself over, so he threw that out there, which was fine. That part didn't really bother me. What really bothered me was when Tony Khan said, well, if Ted Turner knew as much about booking as I do, WCW would have never failed. That pissed me the fuck off. That was so disrespectful. And I gave an honest response to an honest question. And that honest response kind of, created an opportunity for Tony to feel his need to respond, which I understand. I don't hold him against it, I don't hold him against it for that. But that's where it kind of escalated. But it doesn't have anything to do with my feelings about AEW. I'm a fan of AEW. I'm excited about AEW. I want them to succeed. I see a lot of great things. I said that, long before our little dust up. Conrad would talk about, 83, Dynamite on 83 Weeks podcast. And I would point out the things I enjoy about AEW more than the WWF. But at the same time, if I'm asked a question, I'm going to be honest in my critique of that. But it's not meant to be a shot. It just gets interpreted as that. And I think Tony's a little thin-skinned, and he took it a little hard.
All right, guys, thank
Tony,
you.
win!